And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's enjoying movies, watching television, or playing games. I'm one of your hosts, David Bray. I'm joined, as always, by Gerald Bales.
Hi.
And special guest, my wife, Alyssa Bray.
Hello.
You always got that nice hello.
What did she turn from a special guest to just, it's Alyssa?
Oh, well, eventually, if she's on here enough. Okay, so first things first, we're going to skip what you're doing because we're going to pretty much get into that right now. We just got done seeing Captain America Civil War. We're going to do a full spoiler cast, but before we get to that, we're just going to do a proper review. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. We all literally just got done seeing it. It's a little late, so, it'll be fun. Generally, let's start out with, go ahead.
This is my review.
Uh-oh.
It's really good.
You can write that on the back of the box.
Yeah.
No, I think this... Okay, so real quick. Let's just go real quick what we thought about it. Just very, very brief, and then we'll get into it. I'll start with me, since I'm
Of course
starting.
you will.
Of course I will.
First.
Yep.
I think this movie's excellent. It's not as good as what I thought it was going to be. It was some twists and turns in the movie, but generally it kind of checks all the boxes, which is not a bad thing, but it didn't blow my mind. It wasn't the first Avengers, but that might just be because my expectations for these movies now is way, way high.
You always have high expectations.
Yeah. So that's my just real quick reaction. What's yours?
It was good. It was very action packed.
There you go. Lean up.
Lots of fighting.
Yeah, from front or from beginning to end, yeah.
And then, but I was expecting more because people I've been talking to, they're like, it was epic. And I was like,
It was,
okay,
yeah.
But
But what would you say? It's like one of your favorite Marvel movies, or
no?
no? Okay, good. That's good. Okay.
I'd have to watch a couple times to see what's my favorite. It's definitely, like you said, not better than Avengers, but Avengers isn't the bar for me. Like, the bar for me is like, I don't
Ultron?
know, Iron Man. No,
Okay.
Ultron's like bad. Not
No,
bad.
but you know what I mean. I'm saying, like, what was your expectation going into it?
That's going to be a good movie, because Winter Soldier was top 5 MCU movies.
Okay.
It's definitely good.
Yeah, really good. Solid movie.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about it without spoiling anything. Obviously, this movie is, I think it is epic. There's, the movie starts off really fast. This movie is, in fact, the movie shows, like, when they jump to different locations, they literally put on the screen the name of the city, just so you're like, hey, we're
in Berlin!
So
like,
you can
really
keep
big.
up with them.
No, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in this movie. It's weird because it's one of the, obviously it's not an origin story, and they introduce new characters, which you've seen in the trailers. We're not ruining anything there. But they kind of take the audience serious, which makes sense. I mean, this is like their, 12th, 11th, 13th Marvel movie?
10th or 11th.
Wow.
I mean, if you're following along, like, you're following along. So I appreciate that they take the audience serious. They don't hold your hand.
They can't anymore.
Right. And, like, when we got into the movie, the usher came in and he's like, okay, this will be, Captain America Civil War. It's a
240
minutes. And we were like,
sit down.
holy smokes, that is a long freaking movie. It was, it felt like 1.5 movies, to be perfectly honest. There's a part in the kind of the third act of the movie feels like an entirely new movie, because there is, like, a conflict, and then it's kind of resolved, and then it's, you know what, the third act reminded me of the third act in Pearl Harbor. It's not bad. It's just, okay.
Like Pearl Harbor, the movie?
Yeah, like, we're
Movie's
like
really bad.
No, but you know what I'm talking about with Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
The it's
The old
it's,
invasion thing. It could be a separate movie.
right. It's like okay, reset, shuffle the deck. Here we go again.
Yeah.
That's almost what the third act of this
Are
movie
they
feels
getting
like.
ready for the next one?
I think so. There's obviously some setup for an additional movie, which they're going to make a ton of these movies.
Yeah,
so.
I thought the same thing too, but then it kind of got back into the Civil War thing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. The movie does a good job of, these are people who are friends. You know what I mean? Like, they're fighting.
Yeah, a lot of emotional stuff in this movie.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, it's almost like sparring, it feels like, and they even make references in the movie, like, they're when they're fighting each other, they're actually, like, pulling punches, and they really don't want to hurt each other. They're just like, look, you're giving me no choice.
Yeah.
Obviously the backstory is a little bit of, they've talked about it in the trailers. You have one faction who's essentially wants to have oversight after the events of Ultron and
All
the events
movies,
of
yeah.
New York, and they make references to all of them, which is great. Again, taking your audience serious.
And one of those events happens at the beginning of the movie, so it kind of like brings you back in.
Yeah. And it does a good job of basically showing there can be humor while two people are fighting a civil war. I mean, that's what I think was, and I know we're going to draw a lot of probably comparisons to Superman versus Batman, which Alyssa didn't see, but she did watch our spoiler. I'm saying in this sense of, like, two characters fighting who shouldn't be fighting, in the traditional sense of they're good guys.
I don't plan on bringing that movie up at all.
No,
Try
but
not
I'm
to.
saying
Gives me nightmares.
No, but you know what I mean. I mean, this movie I think actually does a good job of showing why it's the internal struggle of these characters of having to make that hard decision. There, you see it on the screen, like, and it also reminds me a lot of, I love the interactions. Everyone's really cool in this movie. Like, everybody gets a little bit cooler than their traditional powers. Everybody gets to use their abilities in some kind of different and unique way. And right off of the bat, the movie also feels like all of the characters have been training. They all like know how to work together.
That, and they really know how to hone in their power, like
Yeah,
use their abilities to their best of their.
And everyone gets like just a little bit of screen time, just enough screen time to show all the cool new stuff.
Yeah.
That we haven't seen before in these characters in other movies. You know, just enough.
And it feels like I'm surprised that they're not going to do. I mean, I think they were in talks of doing a Hawkeye, Black Widow movie or kind of a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type of movie. They should, because Hawkeye is. I liked him in this movie. I like Black Widow. I like the Falcon. I think all of those characters who are kind of the B characters. They're not the Captain America and Iron Man and you know, that level, but they do a good job of highlighting some of their unique abilities. But again, this movie does what all of the Avengers movies have done. They rip those comic book panels out where one character is helping another character. You know, it's just like there's so many cool ways. Like, for instance, this is just a real quick one. Like, the Falcon is flying and he throws Captain America. It's in like one of the trailers actually, I think. And he like comes crashing down. It's just really cool how they use all of the different, like you were talking about, they all have learned how to use their abilities, not just in themselves, but together.
Yep.
And you see some of the fruits bearing of that training that's kind of essentially happened between the last Avengers and, this movie. So generally, I if you're a comic book fan, you're going to go see this movie. Everyone's going to go see this movie, but it's a great movie. But for me, I don't think it's even in. I don't know if it's better than Winter Soldier. I enjoyed Winter Soldier more because I enjoyed the spy movie. This is kind of I don't know what genre of movie this is.
This is an Avengers movie.
It's a I mean it's
Avengers 2.5.
It really is. Yeah. I think it's better than Ultron in my opinion. But
it's better than Ultron, definitely.
And they introduce like I said a bunch of new characters, and they do. Some of the fight scenes in this are amazing.
Yeah.
And
I
just
think the commentary's the best.
Oh, between the banter between the characters?
Yeah.
That's always been the thing with these Marvel movies, too. It's like in super serious situations, you still have these little jokes and quips and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you wanted to talk about Batman vs. Superman, but that's like something that's missing from that movie, and you could see how much better these movies are with that humor.
Exactly. And again, you get to see some new abilities from lots of different characters, and it does a good job of giving everybody an opportunity to spread their wings, including Falcon.
And like you said, there's a lot going on, but for me, I consider myself a layman person.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen all the movies.
Yeah, but you're not a comic book nerd.
I was able to keep up with it. I knew what was happening the entire time.
Yeah. The bad guy or the bad guys or whatever, they're okay in this movie, but these movies
actually,
don't...
I kind of wanted to point that out. There really is the villain in this movie is the dynamic between each other.
Right.
That's the villain is the seated. There is a guy that kind of starts this, but that's not really the main villain of the movie, and I actually really like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see another Ultron where you have this really cool villain and then he's dead by the end of the movie, and it's like, okay, who cares?
Okay, so that's our non-spoiler review.
Yeah, go see it. It's great.
Again, go see it. Now we're going to get into full spoilers. We're going to break down the movie. I have the Beautiful Mind notes written here. I had to write notes in the dark because, you know, I don't want to turn on any lights.
Those cute little pens with the light. Don't they have those little?
I don't know. It's all over the place, so it's going to be a little difficult for me to go along because this movie was super long, and there is a lot of scene changes. There's a lot of characters. There's
a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
So we'll start at the beginning and we'll end at the end. How's that sound?
Yeah, sure.
What?
If you can figure that out.
Okay, so we start off kind of with a flashback.
In 1991.
Yeah.
Which is brought up many times in the movie.
Yes, very many.
And we get to see essentially the torture and the coding, I guess you could call it, the activation sequence of the Winter Soldier, Bucky.
Yeah, because we've seen him in action in the movie, the Winter Soldier, but we never get to see. It's like it's shown him getting his mind messed up in that movie, but this kind of it's cool. Go back how he's activated.
Sleeper cell, yeah.
Yeah, the whole freezing process because we know he's from Captain America's time. So like, how does that freezing work? We see how that's done, which is kind of cool, and it's a good pointer scene because that's something that happens later in the movie too. So it kind of points that out, shows the red book that's kind of brought in later in the movie. And we see,
was it when they open up the doors in the very first scene? Is that the red book or is it a red shield? It was so big, it was just zoomed in.
It's the book.
Okay, I thought it was a shield because I was like, wait, he had a shield too? Does everybody get a shield in these movies? It was just zoomed in really close. I thought it was. At first, I thought because the guys that open up the door, they're turned around. They're facing the wall, but it's because they're activating the key and they just stand still for some weird. They don't turn around and look at the guy walking in. I thought like Loki or something, because like when he makes people do what he's bidding, then they look all weird. Anyways,
So I have a question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I have a question. So I get that there's a series of words that activate his.
yeah.
But what makes him stop? What
Getting hit in the head
down?
really hard, I think, is kind of getting.
And that just.
I guess.
Snap.
It must be, yeah, something like that.
Well,
but it shows like the process of him, and like again, we saw this Winter Soldier where they put those things over his face and I guess electrocute and scramble his brain. And I'm just saying, like he's screaming in agony. I'm like, can we get like a gag or something? Like he's just screaming like I don't know.
Tortures.
I did, and actually, I think there was. I don't know if this actually happened. There's a lot of fiction out there about like sleeper cells of like activating them with certain words. Like, tell us about the numbers, Marsh. Remember from Mason from Call of Duty and all those.
Or the crazy song, Zoolander.
Yeah, exactly. So there is like, I don't know if that actually ever occurred in real life, but I do know that there's enough fiction out there that probably someone tried it. Okay, then of course we get to see we see the Winter Soldier, we see Bucky get the nice silver arm. He's so cool, man.
Like the red star on his shoulder. It's cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Then we get, of course, the title sequence, and then we're quick.
Well,
go ahead.
what happens in that scene, David?
What are you talking about?
In the scene, the Winter Soldier scene, what happens before the title?
Oh, so yeah, he's told to basically go. So there's this. He goes through the sequence, and then he says, "Ready to comply," and he says, "Now here's your mission. You need to go get." There's other Winter Soldiers, basically. So he tells him to go. Well, we find this out later. But he goes down a long road, and then he stops a car, crashes it, takes out a package of this blue-looking kind of.
His mission was to extract this material from this car.
Yeah, and you don't know who it is, of course, at the beginning, but of course, till the end, that's one of the big twists. But
yeah, so did you know what the material was?
I have no idea what it was. I'm
You didn't get
assuming.
that?
What is it?
It's the super serum, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a super soldier serum.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
it's all blue.
I just didn't remember that
See,
it was
let's
blue
together.
from. I mean, I assumed that's what it was, but the thing I don't. Again, this. I always thought the super soldier serum, in my opinion, they tried it on like lots of different people and they would just kill them. Like they tried it on 5 people and all 5 seemed to work really well. Like I don't know. It's just.
No, and I kind of don't like that either, because it was supposed to be this very difficult thing to reproduce, and obviously in the first Avenger, we saw where the serum was all destroyed except the one that's in him, so it's like, oh, that's all we got. You're the only one.
Right.
And now it's just in bags.
Now
vials
he's able
everywhere.
to like drive down a road with it in his trunk.
Yeah, and get it exactly.
Yeah.
But though, well,
Very
it's
Quentin
revealed who it
Tarantino,
is,
though.
but it's
very
Right.
Quentin Tarantino. I don't think they've done that kind of shooting in a movie. At least not where you show, you show resolution and then you explain it throughout the movie and then you flip back and you go, oh, that's what was going on.
yeah, it is very cool the way they did that.
Yeah, different for a Marvel movie. Again, this
This
actually
movie is very different than a normal.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't fit that traditional because when I was making all these notes, I wanted to write what kind of movie is this? Like what genre? And it really is just an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
And it's not really a Captain America movie. I know they had to call it that because he is the main character in the movie, but I mean it's really an Avengers movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Tony Stark gets as much screenplay as everybody else.
Yep.
Okay. Then we get the title sequence. Got the cool Marvel flipping pages thing. And then we're quickly whisked off to Lagos. This is the first action sequence. Black Widow is awesome.
Yeah, her wrapping her body around people's heads and stuff. 1, where can I get that job? 2, she is awesome. And yeah, I don't know. I know they're talking about making a Black Widow movie. But I don't know if I could see 2 hours of her doing that. No. But she is very cool. She definitely holds her own against superheroes. It's really cool.
She has good fight scenes, and it's like she uses other people's bodies to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falcon's cool now. He's got the whole shield thing going on.
Before.
I mean,
but just like you were saying before, seeing them change their abilities now, it's really cool. His little drone that
Red
he
Hawk.
has. Yeah, Red Hawk.
Tell it thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not telling that damn thing.
But yeah, and like you said, seeing it as a shield and like transfer to a shield on its back, so we can just sit there. Like all that stuff's really cool.
Yeah. Again, it's just in the cinematography as far as like are the choreographing.
Choreographing.
Yeah, the
scenes,
fight scenes are really good. Like the way he twists his body and retracts the wings and then comes back, and it's all done so effortlessly. And again, they all feel like a team now. And they right off the bat, a lot of funny jokes. Like you get a lot of good interaction between the Scarlet Witch and Black Widow. Again, it's funny because like Captain America always has to wear the suit. Like he can never. He's got this blue suit with a giant white star on the front. It's like you can't wear like incognito clothes, bro.
But he's got. It's not only that he can wear regular clothes, but he has the shield, and that's kind of the dead giveaway.
No, I know.
You can't really hide that.
So again, I think this shows because you end Avengers Ultron with like this new crew of Avengers, and it's clearly they are working very well together.
B Squad.
Yeah, no, but they're. I mean,
They're A squad.
Yeah. Then you meet this new bad guy. Who gets a little bit of kind of you know what all those guys reminded me of? We were talking about this on the drive back about Call of Duty trailer coming out. They all have like the Call of Duty armor that has like the cool stuff that comes out of it, and it's all super strong.
So what is his name? I know he has a name.
I don't. He's
from the comic.
Yeah, I know. Crossbones or something. I don't know.
Is it Crossbones?
It might be, but I didn't like it. I was kind of like he's in. I think he's one of the guys in Winter Soldier.
He was from Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and so he's like, "You dropped a building on me." Blah, blah, blah. We'll get to this. The whole subplot of like everyone's pissed off at the Avengers, it's so hard for me to buy
I
it.
feel like that was the only reason that scene was in there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
and then
the thing, that's not hard to me to buy it because that happens today. You see collateral damage, and then that gets leaked out, and then obviously that causes all these problems and stuff. It happens today, so I can definitely see that.
It's hard for me to buy it. The characters here who portray the problem,
Benghazi and all that kind of stuff, dude. It's all the same thing. Collateral damage when innocent people die when they're not supposed to, it causes problems.
Yeah, but you get okay. So we go. So the bad guy, we're kind of introduced to him and his crew. They're going to this disease control center place where they're apparently making some kind of biological weapon. They don't explain any of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, none of that really mattered, right? It's just kind of the show, the new Avengers doing their thing.
Right, and I love the Black Widow and Falcon working together with the drone was so cool. And she catches it at the last second. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And then Captain America just showing how awesome he is. And then, of course, you get the Scarlet Witch where she tries to, she's saving Captain America, but then obviously collateral damage.
So this is the first time in a Marvel movie where we see the collateral damage. We see people die. Yeah. Like on all the other movies, buildings are falling around, but you don't see dead people or anything like that. People die in this movie, and this is the first time. And obviously that sets up the whole premise of this movie, but we actually see people die. We see the damage they're doing, and it goes into detail about people who have died in this, and it's like, oh, well,
yeah, that's another thing.
Stories of people,
which is good because I hate. It's just one of those things. It's like Man of Steel and those kind of big global destruction things. Like, dude, people are dying and no one ever talks about them.
Agreed, but there's other parts like Falcon is murdering people. Like when he shot off those rockets and hit those two people, I'm like, yeah, he killed both of those bad guys. Like again, I know they're
bad guys.
I know, but it's just like
they're Hydra, whatever.
Okay, so we have that great fight scene. That's kind of the opening. There was a shot behind Black Widow when she's running, chasing somebody, and I was just like, Jordan's going to be like hardcore parkour, man. That shot was amazing. They had it right behind her.
Oh, and like the market area.
Yeah, when she's jumping over just so cool. Like, it almost put to shame. I mean, if they kept that scene going, like the 007 Casino Royale scene in the beginning. It's just, I wish more, movies did that, where they get that shot real close, running right behind. You feel like you're in the action. You're knocking people out of the way and jumping over. It's awesome. So then we're quickly whisked away to young Tony Stark.
Yeah, creepy CGI young Tony Stark.
Yeah,
I mean, what Sarah and I were talking about afterwards, like, it's definitely convincing enough now.
Yeah.
Where, like, maybe a few years ago, it'd been like, that's too weird. It definitely was convincing. But yeah, still weird.
Yeah. But I was joking because we always talk about what are they going to do with Tony Stark? Are they just going to kill him off? They're just going to keep using Robert Downey Jr.
They've scanned his face now. They can just CG him, implement him in any movie now.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about it. But he apparently looks like he's inventing some kind of glasses that can recreate it's augmented reality, right?
HoloLens, bro. Right. Microsoft HoloLens right there.
And I love the fact he's like, yeah, they told me this was a dumb idea and I spent $600 million on it, but hey, whatever. And then of course he pays off MIT, all of their projects are paid for.
But this is another one of those scenes where it's like, it's not really necessary, but it's a pointer scene, right? Mm-hmm. It's showing the love with his parent, and maybe not for his dad, but for his mom, which is a big deal later in the movie. Yeah,
and also it's a pointer scene for the whole Pepper Potts thing. We kind of, I don't know if if that's going somewhere or if that's just we didn't have enough time.
Gwyneth Paltrow in the movie.
I don't know if that's it. I think they probably had plenty of money to pay her, but I think maybe it's just look, we got enough stuff going on in this movie. It's already, it's it's so long already.
I don't know. That whole Pepper Potts thing kind of bugged me because I just saw Iron Man 3. We're trying to watch all the MCU movies before this came out. And at the end of that movie, their dynamic was so strong. He's getting rid of the suits and all that. And I get the explanation he has in the movie. Mm-hmm. I just can't stop. But it's like, I don't know. He did everything for her, and he just won't. I don't know.
And this is the problem that I have. I mean, again, it's
an easy out though, I guess.
well, and so then we meet the she works for the State Department, and her son died in Salkovia,
She's
and
trying to bring the Suicide Squad together.
It was
It's the same actress, yeah.
Why? Why have the same actress for such a small part?
I don't know.
Is that? I don't know if that's the same actress. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I thought the same thing, but I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like,
we saw the Suicide Squad trailer right before it.
Yeah,
I'm,
so
I'm like 90% sure it's the same chick.
Okay, so
but anyway,
this is the problem that I have. It's the same thing with Pepper Potts, and it's this. I mean, maybe it's just I'm more Captain America than most people. I'm like,
look at your
you all would have died, but for us. So shut up.
But again, dude, I mean,
I
put
get
yourself in the character's shoes. You know
I
what I mean?
agree, but there is. It makes no sense. I mean, again, it's just I just don't understand. Ultron was going to kill not just you, not just your son, everyone on the planet. Mm-hmm. You're at the State Department, like
Who invented Ultron, David?
Agreed.
All right then.
But I don't think she's privy to that. I don't think she's privy. Like I don't think that was leaked information that Tony Stark created Ultron.
Just saying, man.
Maybe, but I just...
Well, Vision gives the explanation later on. It's like we're powerful. The more powerful we become, the more trouble we breed.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, and I that part I can agree with. That was that's always been like
or from her point of view.
But from her point of view, it's like
you
I
have
get
to be
it.
Angry at somebody.
I guess it's just a way to deal with grief and pain. But it's just it's the performance that was given. It was so quick. Mm-hmm. Of like, here's this picture of my son. We're randomly in this back alley with this elevator. I don't know. I don't know.
I love that scene.
Did it set up why Tony Stark was so he was okay with signing the?
Yeah, like I said, it set up all that stuff. It's like this is why I'm doing this is for this kid, and like she's right. We are causing like I'm Team Iron Man, guys. Team Iron Man right here.
I don't.
We're the things we do, the consequences we have, cause these problems. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not. Yeah, maybe these bad guys like maybe if he didn't create Ultron, maybe there's just a different way they can figure out to kill him instead of just go balls to the wall and kill innocent people and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Then after this scene, we're whisked back to Avengers HQ, which is super cool. It's just cool to see the logo on the building.
Yeah.
I want to live there.
I know. It's an awesome place. And then, of course, you see the news reports of what happened in Lagos about Scarlet Witch. Mm-hmm. They even make mention of her actual name. I like the idea that there's some of this is played up a little bit more of like, she's probably the strongest Avenger. I mean,
weird. I thought it was Vision, but no.
He gets manhandled. No joke. Woman handled. And so then the Secretary of State shows up, gives a speech about what is it called? Go ahead.
The Secretary of State, do you remember his character in The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, he was William Hurt. Yeah,
same actor. Yeah, or same character.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, just thought I'd bring that up.
So wait. Oh yeah, that was. Oh, wow.
And he said he had to stay in the army. It's the same exact guy, and then now he's Secretary of State, but it's the same. He's
been waiting like 8 movies. He's like, just put me in a stupid movie.
Put me in, Coach. Come on.
Yeah. This is like that first scene where you kind of see everybody together, right? All the old Avengers, the new Avengers,
except Thor and Hulk. I think the only 2 Avengers we don't.
Then they make mention of that. They're like one of the big reasons. Their reasons for having this Salkovian Accord and oversight is because hey, look, Captain, you don't even. Where's Banner? Yeah. Tell me where Banner is. And I'm like, I want to know. Tell me. Is he going to go to Hulk Planet? Because I want to see that movie.
Yeah, Thor's on Asgard somewhere doing his thing.
Yeah, by the way, I'm like, he went to Asgard. Like, it's pretty obvious.
I get that, but it still is one of the things, like, you guys are the Avengers. That's what you say anyway, so where are they?
Right.
You know?
Agreed.
We're the boys.
Again, I enjoy the kind of this is that down moment in the movie where you get those interactions between, like, Rhodes and Sam Wilson, who's the Falcon, and he's like, dude, it's not that easy, And he's like, what are you talking about? It's easy for me. Like, we're the good guys. And it's just like, yeah, like, well, sometimes we make mistakes or collateral damage happens. But I get what Captain's saying. He's like, look, we can't save everybody. Like, if we didn't do that, that chemical weapon could have gotten in the hands of the wrong person and a lot more people would have died. He's a soldier, right? He's playing... Captain America feels more like a soldier in this movie than any movie he's been in before. Because in more of a, I don't know, that's actually kind of an interesting point. He's probably less of a soldier in this because he doesn't follow orders. I think the part of him that is always trying to do the right thing at all costs.
Well, he can't turn a blind eye. Like
right, and he even says that he's like, when he's talking to Tony, that interaction was great. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't."
When I see something go south, I can't help it.
And he's like,
that.
"You're not sorry." He's like, "You're right."
Sorry, not sorry.
Right. Okay.
But, well, this is they're recapping. This is in the trailer too, but they recap all the disasters that have happened in these numerous movies.
Yeah.
And the death toll it's had, and it's cool because they show camera angles, different camera angles from actual civilians versus what we've seen on screen before. So you see, the helicarriers falling into the ocean or whatever they were called, and you see waves come up and people are drowning and stuff. And you see a building fall on top of somebody. You see the destruction that they're causing. Accidentally, I guess, but yeah.
It's just, I think it's part of that.
It's cool seeing that angle.
It's the sentence that says, "Hey, look, we owe everything to you guys, but you guys are out of control." It's like,
and it's true.
Yeah, but it's just I can understand. I think it's just not delivered in a way that makes it's not believable to me. I'm like, because we need to make this movie about Civil War. It doesn't feel like. I didn't know that they had like no oversight. That actually was. I was like, oh wow, like nobody. It's just you guys?
It was S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone. So.
No, I know. I don't watch the show, so I think there's probably some more interaction. You could probably speak to that maybe
I'm
a little.
very behind on the show, but no, I don't think there is either.
Okay. Okay, so after that kind of turmoil between all of them talking about it, you get, of course, Tony bringing up the kid that was brought up to him and shows kind of the tree for the forest, right? Some of these characters never really get down to the trees. They just see the forest of like, we're doing good, we're the good guys, and it says like, well, some people might disagree with you. Then we meet our technically our kind of our bad guy in this. We gets whisked away to Cleveland, and we get a knock at the door.
Do you remember what his name was?
Zemo.
Okay.
He's a bad guy in the Marvel universe,
okay.
But he has like a purple mask. He's kind of he's a weird character.
Okay.
He's one of Captain America's like big bad guys.
Okay.
They are.
Casting is excellent, by the way. It's the guy from Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good.
So good.
We get a torture scene here with him trying to kind of piece together what happened during the Winter Soldier Initiative and the 1991 again.
That one incident, yeah.
Where you created the other 5 super soldiers, and this guy was one of the guards because they flash forward later on when they created him, and he was the guard there. That was the guy hit in the water.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Again, just kind of quick. It's moving.
It has to.
I think this is like the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's blinking through. Like I said, the fact that they had to actually put up the name of the city, like Cleveland in giant letters, like, okay, we've reset. Here we go. You know what I mean? Anytime someone jumps the curb and hits your car and says, hey, well, you don't need to call the cops, or if you want to call the cops, that's cool. Don't answer the door.
And the guy had he had the gun on the thing. He had the ridiculous lock on his door. Just be like, no. We're good. Just drive away.
Yeah, leave a note. Let me slip your insurance information.
Yeah, I'm not going to open this door.
And this is where my notes get kind of crazy.
All right.
Let's see. What's the next part that I have on here? Because again, I wrote this in the dark, so it was all over the place. But the next thing I want to jump into is I'm trying to think generally where this went. I think the next scene is the Wakanda showing up at the summit, kind of the diplomatic relationships. Black Widow's there to discuss.
Well, they talk about before that, they talk about the Accords, who signed the Accord, right?
Right.
So, and then they're presenting the Accord at the, it was in Vienna, wasn't it? It wasn't in Wakanda. The Wakanda King.
Yeah, it was in Vienna. You're right.
Yeah.
And that's where I wrote. I was like, wow, you set off a bomb in Vienna. Like, wow, that's the one place you don't. Like, we always talk about, that's the peaceful place, right? The Vienna, anyways, go ahead.
Exactly. So they're presenting the Accords there. They're, I guess, starting it. I don't know what that's called in government speak, but yeah, that's where they're kind of starting it. Everybody's there. The King of Wakanda is speaking, because obviously his nation is, where all the vibranium's from and weapons have been made from that stuff. So he was, actually, did they explain why he was the one that's kind of heading this thing? Oh, because his people were killed in the Lagos incident.
Yeah, it was in Lagos is in Africa.
Yeah.
So again, I love the casting here. I think the guy who plays Black Panther is
Chadwick
awesome.
Boseman.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, really good.
So good. He's so believable. Like he plays the part of I'm a warrior and then I'm kind of the king second. Like I make decisions, like rash decisions, and you see the progression of his character at the end of the movie kind of become more leader focused, king-like, versus being just this warrior out for vengeance. But Marvel does a good job of hey, this guy's going to be a superhero, right? Like when they introduce themselves, and it's cool to see the interaction between Black Widow and Black Panther. And she's like, "Look, I'm not comfortable here. Like I'm comfortable being a warrior. I'm not comfortable being a diplomat." You know what I mean? Then of course we get the thing that sets off, no pun intended, the entire rest of the movie, the bomb at Vienna.
Kills the king of Rwanda.
Wakanda.
Excuse me.
And they think it's the Winter Soldier, right?
It looks like it.
It looks just
So
like it. It's
it
got a
must
hood
be.
on.
That's the only evidence I need
Yeah, exactly.
to go kill somebody. That was one of the dumbest parts of the movie for me.
Well, they have to. They have to set it up. Why
I get
why
the
they go
movie.
chase Bucky?
It's called plot.
Way
But
to
it's-
overreact.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, it looks like him. We got to go kill him. It's like, can we work on capturing him first?
Right.
Yeah.
First, it was just kill on sight.
We did skip. What? Maybe it was at the same time of this scene. We get whisked off to London, and we see the funeral scene of Agent Carter, Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
That was before.
Yeah, because she was in the Winter Soldier, or maybe it was even in the first Avenger. She was obviously like way older than him, and he went and visited her, and
Right.
she was very sickly and like looked like she was dying. And obviously he gets the text messages and goes to the funeral, and then Falcon's there, and he says, "Oh crap! Like,
Remember that chick?
yeah, that's her niece." And he's like,
And she was a SHIELD agent. I forgot her name.
"Sharon." I think was her name.
But yeah, it was his neighbor in Winter Soldier that was keeping an eye on him that he didn't know.
So again, excellent, good job. Kind of a little twist, You might not remember the character, but it was a good twist. But of course, she sees if you see something that you can't, you have to dig in and do what you think's best. I'm like,
Right.
wow, like really heavy-handed.
Yeah,
with
like
the,
staring at him. No, seriously. Do what you think is best. Like staring at him the whole
if
time.
all your friends disagree with you and you made a multi-million movie, do it. It's like, okay, we get it. He's going to choose that side.
So at the funeral, him, Sam, and the chick, they're all in London, right? Mm-hmm. Bomb was in Vienna. Mm-hmm. How did they get to Vienna so quickly? They heard about the bomb, and then they're there at Vienna.
They're
Weird.
superpowers.
I guess.
But there was this little scene between Black Widow and Captain America that I thought was really touching about, Black Widow the reason why I really want a movie of hers is like they play that origin story up really well. Like where they like took away her ability to have kids, and they like did all this stuff to her to make her this crazy super spy, and she's like, she still has feelings, like she still is a human being at the core of it. And he's like, well then why are you here if you know I wasn't going to sign? Because I didn't want you to be alone. Like the characters in these movies feel like superheroes, obviously, but they also feel like normal people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
They're a family.
Right. It plays up like this
It's
is
not even a romantic thing, because obviously we saw her being involved with
sun's
Banner.
Sun's going down.
Sun's looking real low. No, but so yeah, it's like a family thing, it shows that friendship. That's what I said, there's a lot of emotional stuff in this movie.
Okay, then the bomb of course goes off, and then they put out the APP on Winter Soldier, and then
Black Panther's like, I'm gonna kill that guy.
Oh, love that scene. He's like, don't worry about it. You don't have to send the task force. I'll kill him myself.
Yeah.
I was just like, yes, go get him, Black Panther. And then we probably get the next biggest action sequence of this movie. We get Captain America going to Bucky's apartment, and then the S hits the F, right? The German police are on them, and go ahead. What's your problem with
really
this?
cool scene, but it's again the whole thing. It's like, we're gonna kill him. It's like, well, how about I just ask him? Were you there? No. Okay.
Why
Well,
don't you
maybe
just-
something else is going on.
Well, he's also.
This is not a very
this isn't
clear
the first
picture. It's
incident
kind
of
of
him.
blurry. No, I know.
I mean, that's the thing. He is a fugitive on the run.
Hey,
and
you're innocent until proven guilty.
not when you set off a bomb in Vienna. That's
I
like the
guess.
most peaceful place. It's like Switzerland and Vienna. I think Vienna is it's in. Where's Vienna? I'm terrible at geography.
Anyways, we see this scene where they
such
come up, and the fight scene in the stairwell is awesome.
Probably one of the best fight scenes in a stairwell. Daredevil is giving you a run for your money, buddy.
And Steve is like, hey, we don't kill people, right?
He keeps throwing him down the
Yeah,
stairwell.
it's like, wait, no, come on, man. Like, and that's what we're talking about. There's these little bits of humor in this serious scene where, someone could possibly die. It's like, come on, man, don't kill him.
And even like the little parts where he's like, looks like he's gonna punch Captain America in the face, but he breaks the floorboard to grab his backpack and then throws it across the rooftop. Like, it's scenes like that where it's just like perfect. Like whoever wrote that, like genius. And
I feel like as an audience member, like I feel at like Captain America, like I don't know if I don't really trust him yet.
like, why'd you save me from the river?
Yeah,
Why'd
he
you do that?
tried to
pulled
kill me, in the last movie. I don't know yet,
Yeah, and even asked him, he's like, you know who I am? He's like, yeah, you're Steve Rogers.
Which
He's like,
Bucky are you? Yeah.
yeah, which Bucky are you? Again, just probably one of the best fight scenes. I love that he he obviously has crazy training, but like he jumps from the stairwell and then just like barely catches himself. So you see like struggle, like these aren't perfect characters.
And he's not really a superhero. He's got a big arm and he's been trained in combat, but what else does he have? You know?
Oh man, and some of the visceral hits, like when he takes the battering ram and he hits one of the German police guys. I'm just
That would kill you.
I don't know.
That's like the thing in Batman. Like he's not killing them. It's like just maybe internal injuries. Like he'll die in a week.
So he's gonna wither in pain. Yeah,
Exactly.
he was just in a coma, guys. He's not dead. All right.
I get the whole jumping from buildings, but they should be breaking legs.
Yeah, there's
That's
a couple parts
Well,
with
he like rolls on his arm at least, so it's kind of like okay. Or Captain America like lands on his shield and rolls, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, just fantastic. Oh, and maybe it was this scene, or was it in this scene where it was this scene where Captain America's shield again gets used in a very cool way. They throw a bomb through the window. He kicks one of them back out the window, and the other one comes in, and he kicks it towards him, and he puts his shield on top of it. So cool. Think about the downstairs neighbor. They're not very happy. So again, great scene. Then of course we get the Bucky jumping across the rooftop, and then we meet Black Panther.
There he is.
His suit is
awesome.
Awesome.
To the max.
So what, you obviously aren't a huge comic book fan. What did you think of like the character? I love he's like, you like cats? Anyways,
I had no idea who he was.
did you know that he was the character from when he was like, don't worry about it, Black Widow, I'm going to kill him myself. Did you know that was him?
No.
No, so you had no idea.
It
Okay.
took me until the end of the
Well, he took off
car
the mask.
chase scene. Yeah.
Well, because that's why I was like, really?
I didn't know who it was.
When he took it off, I was like, wow, that was quick to give away your identity, like real quick. But apparently in this Marvel universe, no big deal. Everyone knows who everyone is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, kind of.
which is fine. It's okay. But it just seems like, wow, that was a quick like.
Ever since he was like, I'm Iron Man. Like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to tell everyone our identities, you know?
Right. But
That's Peter, but yeah.
But the fight scene's great. The claws coming out.
I like how whenever he lands, like you hear like Iron Man, boom, it's like a metal hitting on the ground. You hear the shield hitting the ground, and him, it's just like,
Yeah.
like it's all quiet and
he's
everything.
like, when he jumps off the building, he like claws his way down. We get the claw marks. I think that's when, because Captain America comes down and they both start fighting him, and that's when you get the claw marks on the shield, which is so cool.
And it's all vibranium, so
vibranium on vibranium.
yeah, so you see a helicopter come by and shoot him. It's like bullets don't do anything to him. He obviously has a super strong claws, so it's cool seeing that.
Yep. So again, another excellent, fast-paced, quick action sequence, just a quick punch. Then you get this car chase scene, which those dudes are booking it. I don't know if the cars in that tunnel are not maybe going like 20 miles per hour, but they are booking it.
Too. It's like Winter Soldier's running faster than the cars. So I'm like, he doesn't really have super legs. It's just his arm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is he running so fast? But look, maybe they're driving really slow.
He's got the Winter Soldier serum, right? So he's like,
Maybe it was rush hour.
Yeah, maybe.
And it was. I love the part with Captain America in the. Was it a Denali? It's just weird to see him
It's an
drive.
Audi. It's a Q7.
It's just
They
weird.
were very clear. These are all Audis.
Yeah.
All right.
You
I want to
sure?
buy an Audi R8 e-tron.
Very cool to see him driving a car. Like it's just weird to see Captain America driving a car.
Well, he's like, I know I have to catch up. I can't just keep the same speed.
I can't run as fast as you.
Super cool scene. One of the scenes that I absolutely loved: Winter Soldier grabbing the moving motorcycle, knocks the dude off, grabs it with the middle arm, flips it around in slow motion, and then steps on it and just takes off. Like one of the coolest scenes I've seen in a while. It reminded me of there was a movie called, it was with Bruce Willis, Red 7, when he opens up a door to a car and he shoots. I don't know. It's just one of those scenes where it's super slow mo. It's like would never work.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. He just steps out and shoots.
Yeah, super cool. Slow mo makes everything cooler.
Yeah.
And then we get, of course, the one scene I also love too is I wrote down the word kinetic. This whole scene is just everything is flowing forward. Like it's just everything is moving so fast forward, and you see it in the moment when they throw the Winter Soldier throws the bomb at the overpass. It collapses. Captain America, the car is like almost flipping over. He jumps out of it, runs out of the car almost at full speed, and the car is flipping behind him. It's just amazing.
And what I like about a lot of these big action scenes in this movie is I don't know what the Russo brothers are doing differently than, like, say, I don't know who directed Ultron, but you know what's going on. Where a lot of these big action scenes, like think of the last scene of Ultron, the big thing where they're fighting all the Ultrons and stuff, you have no idea what the hell's going on. Where every single fight scene in this movie, even like the big battle at the airport, you have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
You can keep tabs of everybody.
Exactly, and just the way it's shot, I don't know how they do it, or they need to call the other guys, to tell them how to do it. But it's just great how everything's presented and choreographed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's busy, but it's not overwhelming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's there's a lot going on, and it's just the motivation of obviously Black Panther, like he's just out to murder. He does not care who gets in his way. Just super cool. So then of course finally we shut it down. War Machine comes in, stand down, everybody. Then you get the Black Panther to take off his mask,
Right.
and that's when you that's who he is. And then they get whisked away to, essentially, I'm guessing that's some type of government agency. They've got him in the big chair. But again, quick banter. We get the Falcon talking to Black Panther. So you like cats, huh? It's just like, and he's like, what do you mean? He's like, knock it off. He's like, well, no, man, the guy shows up in a full cat costume. Like,
yeah, just kind of no, yeah.
it's just, again, the banter, and he's just, he's like, I forget his dialogue, but he says, as a warrior, I'm going to kill him. Like, I don't care what I do. I will get my vengeance for my father. Which, again, like, you can't blame the guy, but
those things, he said that a couple times in the beginning of the movie, and it plays out at the very end of the movie, the whole...
Yeah, he actually has an arc, which is great. So then this is one of the scenes that I really enjoyed, because you get Tony already at the government agency, basically saying, dude, what do you, like, this is what we were trying to avoid. Like, this is exactly this is bad press, what you're doing. You're
making things worse.
Right. And I love that he has the pens from the signing of, to go into World War II. It's just, again, little things like that. But this dialogue is great, where he's like, my dad, my dad knew you. And he's like, oh, did he ever talk? He's like, yeah, he never shut up about you. I hated you. Because I think he resents him, because obviously he had a bad relationship with his father. I mean, kind of a weird relationship, because, again, Tony Stark's not like, I'm sure he wasn't the nicest son either.
Well, no, but we even see in Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but like we see him recording the things about, what's the Stark Expo called? Him recording that, and like little Tony Stark, like 9-year-old whatever, is playing with him. He's like, put that back, so the childhood isn't great there. And even the frustration with each other, we've seen seated in obviously Ultron, the movies before that. So it makes
weird.
sense how it slowly flows.
How many actors have played Howard Stark?
2 or 3. The young Tony Stark. Or
you mean Howard Stark?
Yeah, Howard Stark, and then you in the first Avenger. Then you had
I like
a
the
different
one
actor
from
in Iron Man 1, and then you had the guy from Mad Men do it since then.
Yeah, so it's just weird that it's just they can make Tony Stark look through CGI, but they can't get the guy to look older. It's weird. It seems like they
we've
could
had
do
2
that.
War Machines. They can do anything.
I guess
they recast anybody.
So great scene. He talks about the line from the trailer. Wish I could just punch you in your perfect little teeth.
Your perfect teeth, yeah.
And I think, again, Tony, the difference between Tony's character and Steve Rogers is Steve Rogers essentially got given his powers, right? Well, sort of. I mean, you could argue, right? He got super soldier serum and he didn't really have to work for it. Tony had to invent all this stuff. Like, it came out of my brain. So I think there's some resentment always built in there. So then, of course, you get Zemo, who activates the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Which was a great scene. And then you see Sharon kind of be the mole, trying to help out the other guys. Hey, he's on this level. And then again, you get some great in street clothes fighting between the Winter Soldier and almost everybody else. And he just almost kills
through them.
Oh my gosh. Like, activate that dude, but activate him the right way.
That part of the trailer where he's fighting Tony Stark and he has the Iron Man watch, which I want, Apple Watch 2, make it to an Iron Man watch. But he grabs a gun and it shoots him right next to his face. He's like, the look on his face, like, holy crap, like I literally almost just died.
Yeah. That's the thing too, is like why does he just always, why can't he, I thought he had the extremist thing. I thought he could just make the suit come to him at any time, or like taking steps back. It seems
That's not
weird.
extremist, man. Not in this universe.
No, I know, but I mean, he had the bands that could make the suit come to him at any time. He kind of,
but there's still a delay there where this is like something that's happening right now.
No, I know. It's super cool. Again, I like the fact that he used, like, when he went at Winter Soldier, he didn't hit him with a beam, because I think he appreciates, to some extent, he wants to. Again, they're all friends, right? They don't want to kill him. He's just like, we want to find out what's wrong with him. Psychic evaluation, And
he did say, like, we want to put him in the psych hospital to figure out what's wrong,
Yeah, we don't want to put him in a prison, which is what he's going to end up in if you keep doing what you're doing. But he hits him with a sound.
Yeah, it's like a sound wave thing. War Machine did the same thing.
Yeah, and then he hits him with a flashbang. And then he comes at him, and that's when he takes the bullet in the hand, and thank God he had the Apple Watch on.
Yeah.
Then Black Widow nearly gets choked out, which is because we saw how awesome she is, and she just gets worked. Like, everybody.
But she was holding her own for a little bit until he just took his metal arm and was like, shut up.
And then Sharon comes in and does some fighting too. It was cool to see her.
Yeah.
And then you get, of course, T'Challa, he comes in, the Black Panther, and he starts fighting him. And then there's this thing where he goes at him with the ring, which I'm guessing is made of some type of vibranium, and it goes towards... They did this multiple times. I don't know, maybe in the comments let me know, but there's some kind of reaction between the metal arm and his... They kept doing like this weird, like, almost like when two magnets, equal, they push away. I don't know, is this weird?
Oh, do I not remember that? I don't remember that.
It was when they were fighting in the little stairwell.
Yeah.
I also like the part when he punches him, he falls down. She's like, oh, where'd he go? It's like, don't throw people down stairwells if you don't want to know where they went. Okay, then we get probably the Chris Arms Second Amendment right to bear arms.
Oh, yeah, Chris Evans' arms. Holy crap.
That scene of the
Got me all
movie.
flustered.
Woo! The helicopter scene. This is insane. This is so cool. Again, this movie, there's a lot of action sequences, but they feel simple in a way. They're not like, I think of like Iron Man 2, like the Monaco scene. Like that's a gigantic, expensive scene. I mean, none of this isn't cheap, but it's like, it's just on a helipad and it's trying to not let him leave.
Yep.
Right.
And just the blade hitting, the back blade swinging around and almost chopping his head
How
off.
did he not?
I'm just curious, like, what's Winter Soldier's plan here? It's like, well, I can't leave, so I'm just going to barrel into him, I guess. I don't know, it looked cool, though.
Yeah, it did. And then I guess that's what knocked him right again.
Yeah, because it showed him,
guess.
like, his head hitting a helicopter window.
Yeah, when they fell off of the thing. I love the part he's just sitting there choking him and he's like, no, wait. It's like, you get your tie stuck in something. He's like, oh God, oh wait, no. Falls into the water. Oh, just the explosion on that helipad is great. Everything looks so real now. And the sound in the theater was fantastic. So it's like, it just feels like you're there. But it's not Bucky. It's not the Bucky he knows. But dude, him holding that helicopter just stretched out, it's just like,
Yeah, it's in all the trailers. You see his biceps taking
so
front
good.
and center.
Good job, Chris Evans. You are Captain America for real. Then he pulls him out of the water. They takes him off to this secret location with
Really him
with
and Sam.
Falcon.
Yeah.
I love that he has his arm in like a vice. Like, dude,
Yeah, is that what's keeping him there?
yeah, it's just like, dude, just
Maybe it's a really, like, hydraulic press or something.
it's got to be pretty strong. But it didn't matter because he's the correct Bucky now, right?
He's like, oh, okay, let him out. He's fine. We've done this before. He's fine.
Plus, it was in the trailer. So, we get the. Maybe we should ask for Tony. No, he wouldn't help us. It's just like
But I know someone who can.
right, and I'm thinking that's Ant-Man, right? Is
Yeah.
that who he's talking about?
No, he's talking about Hawkeye, right?
Probably.
Because Hawkeye gets Ant-Man.
Well, yeah, all of them come in, but then we after this kind of heavy scene, then we kind of get a reset, kind of a refresh of a lighter scene. We get Vision cooking, which I absolutely loved. Vision is kind of this hard character. Like they chose to do Vision, and he's Jarvis, right? I mean, he's this very methodical,
Robotic.
monotone character, but they try to give him some life. You know what I mean? I love him cooking. I love him being like a pinch of paprika. What does that mean? Like he doesn't understand. Like it almost, like because when you read a recipe, like a cup, it's a very precise measurement. A pinch is what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could be, if you're a giant man, it could be a pretty big. Anyways, but this is all kind of a bluff, right? This is all just to keep
her there.
to keep the Scarlet Witch in check.
Which is one of the things I didn't like in the movie, because, like, why would Tony do that? Like, I get it. Like, she was involved with the explosion at the beginning of the movie and all that, but does he really need to keep her against her will? Does he think that was obviously an accident. She obviously
Right.
did not do that on purpose.
She's not going to walk down the street and just...
Kill people.
Right.
But I appreciate the conversation she has with Vision about everyone's scared of me. But, and he's like, well, I'm keeping you here so that you have an opportunity to show them the person I know. Which again, this whole movie does an excellent job of showing, these are good people trying to, set with difficult decisions, right? And like, even Vision, who is this eternal being, right? It's not supposed to be human, has human emotion and is like, no, I'm not just doing, Tony told me to do this, but I also want people to see the person you are.
And he kind of talks about the mind gem too, which, hint, Infinity.
Yeah. Gotta seed that in here. Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of talks about that. Like, he doesn't know if he's really in control of it or it's in control of him. It's something he's working on, blah, blah, blah. But it kind of seeds that, and again, into another later scene about his mind gem thing.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what was the next scene. Do you guys remember?
Mm-mm.
Let's see. Okay. oh, I know what happened. So, okay, so all of their equipment is gone, and that's when he meets up with, this is I wrote smile kiss. So this is when Sharon meets back up with the guys.
One of the funniest scenes in the whole movie.
In the VW Bug, which is just great.
And my mom used to own a VW Bug at like a 70-something. Those things are small.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
So
"Can you move
having
your seat
Captain
up?"
America, the Winter Soldier in the back seat, and then Captain America driving, and then Falcon in the passenger seat. Yeah, I don't know how Winter Soldier fit back there.
And then they had all their equipment.
Yeah, that was in the other car. She brought the equipment
Oh.
from the government, the state agency that was holding all of them,
But yeah, it was funny. He's like, "Can you move your seat?"
No. But of course, he gets the kiss. He finally gets to kiss Sharon, and she's like, that was a long time coming. Like, that's brutal, man. Don't ever say that to a guy if you kiss him. Hey, you should have done that a long time ago.
Is this weird? The kiss, is that weird?
Well, because it's the
He had a
aunt-
thing with like her aunt or great aunt, whatever. Is that
Hey,
weird?
man.
Yeah, but he's not aging, so he still needs to get some.
No, I know, but is it weird? It's like, I had a thing for your aunt. She's dead. I'm just going to make out with you instead.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah.
All right, I'm just making sure.
I don't think it's.
I don't think it's super weird. It's just, well, the whole time
I'm making
travel
it weird.
thing. You're making it weird. You're the guy that's making it weird. But of course, he looks back, and all his bros are like, yeah.
Get it, bro.
Good job. And then we get the scene with the van. You get well, actually, Hawkeye finally shows up at the
This
HQ.
is where everyone meets up.
Well, everyone's kind of recruiting, so we get Tony Stark and Black Widow talking about who they're going to recruit. It's like, do you have an idea? Yeah, I know. I know something. Or like Black Widow says, my person's downstairs.
which
Who are
there's
you
Black
thinking of?
Panther, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I have somebody in mind.
And then it cuts to Queens, and I was like,
Right.
I tapped her. I was like, Spider-Man's coming.
I didn't know until it showed the first scene of that. I'm like, Sarah.
Okay, so this is probably they did such a good job. Peter Parker, right off of it, I'm like, that's Peter Parker. That is a guy who is a nerd.
He's got the old computers and everything he built himself. He's obviously very smart.
He's super smart, but he never lets anyone know. He's very secretive in that. He,
Very standoffish.
first of all, Aunt May. What did I say earlier? It's more Aunt May.
Marissa Tomei,
May
yeah.
I? Holy smokes.
She still got it, man.
The interaction between Tony Stark and Peter Parker is
In front of the ant too. He's
Oh.
like
Yeah.
the eyes he gives, like, yeah, that one thing we were talking about, right?
you're involved now. You know, you got the scholarship or you got the grant. You know
Like,
what I'm
I
talking?
did? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. It's just the kid. I think it's Tom Holland. I think is the kid's name who plays Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Fantastic. Just right off the. He's yeah, like yeah. Like he is so awkward. Like he's playing Peter Parker. He's playing the awkward kid, the awkward genius. Then we get into the bedroom with it's Peter Parker's bedroom, which looks great. It's a mess. It's got computer parts.
Yeah, old
It's like a-
computer
it's
parts
like a
too. It's like an
Mac
Apple II in there, yeah.
It's ridiculous. And he's like, oh yeah, I pick it out of the dirt
Is it
or
what,
out
you
of
a
the
dumpster
trash.
diver?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I was got on the train and I found this DVD player. I'm
It's a
like,
good day.
holy smokes, man, this kid is poor as dirt. But he lives in Queens, so it's expensive. No rent control. And then of course, Tony's just
The footage he shows too, like the old suit. It kind of reminds me of the suits Tobey Maguire in the first Spider-Man stuff. It's like, it's all cloth. It's got the weird, I don't know what's weird, the eye things.
goggles.
Yeah, they're like goggles and
Like bug eyes.
yeah, it looks like a kid. And he says he's only has his powers for 6 months. It definitely looks like that.
Yeah, and he even says my senses got turned up to 11, and actually the dark goggles actually help like me focus because like there's so much going on. Like he's still learning his powers.
And it kind of plays into the new suit later on too with the lenses and
Oh,
stuff.
so good. And then he's like, oh, I don't know, those are YouTube videos. You can do that on a computer. And he hits the stick. He knows where he would hide. Like
A suit, yeah.
yeah, it's just so good. And then he's like, the awkwardness of Peter Parker is so, because not only is Peter Parker awkward, he's super awkward because Tony Stark is like the epitome of like cool, suave, knows what he's doing, knows what to say. He's like, okay, I'm
Always
gonna
a step in front of him and all that stuff.
and he's
too,
like,
yeah.
I'm going to sit here and give you a speech, so please move your leg. Like, it's little things like that. And it's also, he is a kid. Finally, like, we get a kid. Like, Tobey Maguire was a kid.
Kind of.
This dude looks like a kid. Like,
And
he
he
looks
Like a rookie.
super young. Absolutely. And then we get the conversation where he's like, well, I'm just going to go tell your Aunt May. And he hits him with the web shooter. He's got web shooters, guys.
Mechanical web shooters. yeah.
Very cool. And he's talking about the tensile strength of what he made and what is it made out of. But you get this great scene of Okay, we can't cut this. We can't cut away from the scene. Come, get this. Get the stupid web.
Okay, yeah, I'll get the thing. Hold on.
Which was such an interesting way to introduce Spider-Man. We just skipped the whole origin garbage.
Yep.
6 months. We're 6 months in. We don't need it. And then we have the other side of the recruiting, which is Hawkeye shows up to HQ, Avenger HQ. And I love that he sets this giant distraction, this big explosion, because he knows, like, I have no chance against Vision. Then he shoots these 2 arrows, which I'm going, those are going to be cool. Whatever's coming, it's going to be cool.
I was like, what are those for? Oh, I know.
Something cool. Tells Scarlet Witch, got to get out of here. I only have a couple of minutes, like literally.
I'm just a guy. This is freaking Vision.
Yeah. I do love, again, they do such a good job with Jeremy Renner is Hawkeye. He's such a good Hawkeye because he's like,
no, all the actors are their respective characters. The casting in this is so good.
Yeah. So he's like, we got to get out of here. Don't have much time. Of course, she's like, wait. I don't want to. She still
had this bonding scene with him.
Right.
Well, it's almost since Ultron. Because since Ultron, they've kind of had this cute little bond thing together.
B-team.
Yeah, and it's like he's always to the point with her. It's like, get off your ass,
Right. He's like, I don't. You know what I mean? He's kind of the I don't know. He doesn't have as much. It's hard to say because he really does have a human element. They kind of showed that in Ultron with his family and stuff like that. But he's kind of like
bow and arrow. I have no idea what's going on.
But he had a relationship with her too because of I think that scene. A guy with a bow and arrow. Yeah, absolutely. But then Vision comes back, and then we get to see the full unleashed power of Vision. Of Scarlet Witch. I mean, not only does she take down Vision, she
takes him down
to the center of the earth, and I just like. Hawkeye has seen so much craziness. He's just like, okay, let's go. We probably don't have much. You know what I mean? Like he's not like, whoa. Like,
and I thought like Vision was one of these beings. Like there's no way anybody can top him. But her power is to control people's mind and control their fear. And she used that because of what he said before of what he's afraid of the stone and all that stuff. So she used that to control his stone or whatever and used that against him, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So now I think she's even more powerful. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, it also plays into in this. Obviously, those two characters have a bond because it even plays in later. He's showing more human emotion.
Later on, he has an error. I don't think you're supposed to do that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I was distracted. Like, it's cool to see him become more and more human as he interacts with humans. So then we get the van scene, which they introduced.
Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd. I have such a man crush on Paul Rudd. He's hilarious.
This is. Ant-Man is if we all got casted in a superhero movie. Yeah. It's like, I'm shaking your hand too long. This Captain America guys are like, yeah, we know.
I know you too, but Captain America.
It's just, and he's sleeping in the van. Like, it's the perfect introduction to Ant-Man. And he's like, really, this guy? Who's this guy? And it's just like, oh, trust me, he's pretty good. And honestly, Ant-Man and Spider-Man probably, in my opinion, steal up to, again, that third act of this movie almost feels like an entirely separate movie, but they steal the movie. Like, their scenes are the best scenes.
And that's one scene.
No, I think even in the airport scene. You think
the airport scene is the scene.
The airport scene, yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's the scene of the movie. That's the big fight scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what we're leading up to. Captain America, suit up. Of course, they have to do this because they did, every movie now that is a superhero movie, we have to make sure to let the audience know that the scene has been evacuated of human beings. So we can just go ape. You know what I mean?
What's that sound? The airport's being evacuated of all civilians and collateral damage.
It's like,
great.
You know what I mean? Like, now we can go ham. It's like, come on.
Which is fine. I prefer that,
It's so simple. Like, it's such a, like, okay, this is required of when we fight.
If they don't say that, though, then I would be like, weren't the people in that building that they just... The people in that airplane were waiting to get off the plane.
This is your captain speaking. There's a giant. Anyways, this is a great scene. It's just such a good fight scene.
And of course, it built it up in all the trailers, like the airport scene,
Yeah, and they started off great. I love that War Machine and Iron Man show up, and they're like, hey, and he's trying to tell him, he's like, no, look, here's the story. Like, he doesn't bury the lead, which is what killed me again. I know we've made a couple comparisons to Batman versus Superman, but he doesn't bury the lead. Immediately, Captain America is telling him, look, it wasn't Bucky that killed the king. It was this guy, and there's other soldiers, and we need to go find them, or if this guy gets to him, he's going to activate him, and it's going to be a bad news bears, right? Like, we got to do, this is not, we don't need to fight. And he's like, sounds like an interesting story, but you're coming with me. And
he's like, I got 36 hours, use 24, you're coming with me right now.
Help a friend out.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, and he puts his foot down. He does the big dad voice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it! You are coming with me right now. Like,
Grab his ear.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, you're trying to tear us apart. And he's like, no, you tore us apart when you signed it. And I was like,
Yeah.
they're gonna fight.
Emotions.
And then I think, again, Black Widow kind of comes in and she's like, look, you can't punch your way out of this one, man. Like, we don't need to do this. Like, we can. And he's like,
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do, because it's called Civil War, and that's what the people want.
Well, in when they first show up, who do we get first? We get Spider-Man. We get Underoos.
Underoos.
Yeah.
He comes in. I was hoping that was going to be a little bit... Again, I'll talk about this a little bit later, but the trailer does a good job of, like... I thought there was going to be material that wasn't in the movie that they shot for the trailers, kind of like Star Wars did. And I'll get to the exact scene that I'm talking about. But Spider-Man shows up, and he's just so cool.
In the new suit, and he's just like, hey, everyone. Like, he's the kid, you know?
He's the kid, and he's like, big fan, Captain America. Sorry about grabbing the shield, but Tony told me you're a bad guy, so I have to do, I'm helping him out. Gave me the new suit. And then we get a couple fight scenes. We get Captain America basically fighting everybody. He's fighting Black Panther. He's fighting
everywhere.
Iron Man, or he's fighting War Machine. And he's just like tearing it up. Like War Machine brings out this giant, like, looks like something out of...
It's like a stun baton.
Yeah, it's awesome. And he's just coming at him, and he just breaks it in half, and he's like, oh, come on, man. Like, I got all these weapons. War Machine gets a moment, gets more of that crazy tech. Like, he has like 20 guns pop out of him, and he takes out, and he even screams, "Arr!" Like everybody would do if they had this machine gun armor. Like, fantastic. But Black Panther versus Captain America was one of the best, like, it was just awesome. Like, those two are just so fast and furious, and the punches hit. But then we get Spider-Man fighting
Falcon and Winter Soldier, which, by the way, the Falcon Winter Soldier, they kind of play this through the whole movie. But he's like, I hate you. Like, it's kind of like the new Hulk Thor kind of thing.
Yeah, they don't get along, but they're on the same team.
Yeah,
like,
so they kind of have to.
But even Spider-Man, like, immediately we see how strong Spider-Man is. Like, he holds back and he's like, you have a metal arm? That's so cool.
And then he gets hit by Falcon.
And again, this is a kind of a different, because when I saw he was going to show up in a airport, I was kind of like, ooh, we're going to have like no tall buildings. Like, how are you going to play up the Spider-Man-ness? Because the tall buildings, the swinging is one of the cool, is the coolest things of Spider-Man. But you get this cool swinging, crawling. You see him crawling. You see the shots of how they follow Spider-Man. That's one of the coolest things that they even did in the new Amazing Spider-Man. I always thought the way you followed him was really interesting and cool. And of course, I love that all these superheroes, when they see a new superhero, like, who the hell is that? And it's like, everybody gets their own damn, pick an animal and there's a superhero for it. It's like, but he kind of shuts them down. Like,
he definitely holds his own.
Spider-Man is
not bad for 6 months.
Yeah, like, give him some training and he'll be pretty awesome. Again, then we get, who else was fighting? Everyone's fighting in this. Ant-Man goes into Iron Man's armor, which was great. He starts pulling stuff up.
Oh, yeah, that's the Hawkeye one, right? Where he shoots him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you going to be all right?
You're holding on? No problem, Arrow Man. Or Arrow Guy or something.
Paul Rudd is so great. Again, he just feels like the guy who just showed up. You know what I mean? And even when he's like, going back to the Vance, he's like, hey man, we're gonna be criminals. He's like, yeah, it's fine. I've done that before, so it's no big deal.
By the way, we got some new suits. We got a new Iron Man suit. I think it's 46 is what we're on now.
Mach 46.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Ant-Man's new suit looks great.
He's got kind of like a more of like a snout to
It
him.
looks more classic.
Yeah.
Like if you look in the comics, it looks more classic.
I even like when he hands back Captain America his shield from Spider-Man. He's like, here you go, Captain America. Like, he even says it like he's trying so hard to be like one of the superheroes.
Yep.
It's just Paul Rudd delivery on this is fantastic. And then of course we get the scene where he's inside the Iron Man suit and he's going, I'm your conscience. It's like,
you haven't heard from me in a while. Unplugging weapons and stuff like that.
But of course, Tony Stark being Tony Stark has a contingency, flushes him out with the fire
suppression system.
Yeah. He gets shot at. I thought for a second he was going to like have to get like, I was like, oh wait, that just
get big and blow up his armor.
Yeah, I don't know, something crazy. But then we get the scene where I think Gerald audibly clapped in the theater.
Oh my God. So like one of Ant-Man's ability, which is in the comics, and I wasn't a big comic book guy, but I was aware of this, is like he can go big as well as small. That's his thing. And we kind of see that at the end of the Ant-Man movie is the blue makes him big, the red makes him small, right? He figures it out and he makes him bigger, makes him normal size. And I think at the end of that movie, I was like, he's not going to get any bigger? Like, when are we going to see that? And we see it in this movie, and I was like, yeah, heck yeah, giant Ant-Man.
And the way he says it, too, he's like, I did this one time in the lab, but it was really cool, and then I passed out, so.
We'll see how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah, he closes his eyes, hits the button, and we get big old giant Ant-Man.
And the line from Tony Stark He's like, if anybody else has any amazing powers that they just want to go off on, please let me know, because I wasn't expecting this giant guy.
And it's kind of meta, because I know fans are like, oh, she can do that, Scarlet Witch can do that now, they can do this now, so...
Again, everybody
powers aren't really defined.
Again, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody kind of gets a tweak on their powers. Everybody gets a cool power. But again, this scene introduces so many characters to other characters that haven't been introduced, like Hawkeye talking to Black Panther. I haven't met you yet. My name's Clint. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, get out of my way. Like,
and his bow can turn into a staff now. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and his
Little
armor,
things.
his armor keeps getting cooler and cooler. He had kind of the purple tinge. Now it's just all black. He's still got the bearing the arms, you know. We get, I'm trying to think of some other really great scenes. Oh, we get the Captain America fighting Spider-Man. Fantastic. He's like, where are you from? He's holding up the Queens, Brooklyn. It's just like so good. Spider-Man, because we had
Giant Ant-Man. Giant Ant-Man happens.
Giant Man is what he's called, but yeah.
Oh, is that he's
Ant-Man, Giant Man, yeah.
Oh, Sarah asked me if he had like a different name. I'm like, I think it's just Ant-Man big.
He can do both, yeah. But him like he's like
grabbing pieces of plane and throwing them and stuff. And Spider-Man has a good line. Have you guys seen that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back? And they're like, oh my God, how young is this guy?
But he totally, now that Disney has the property, they're like, yeah, we can talk about Star Wars. There's no problem.
Of course, he wraps his legs and the Iron Man War Machine punch him in the face.
Yep.
And
I wrote that. I was like, AT-AT call out or AT-AT call out, depending on how you...
Get your toe cables. Shoot for the legs.
Shoot for the legs. Great. So again... And yeah, he's like
super serious scene. We're getting these little jokes and stuff, and you just can't help but just laugh, you know.
Yeah, and there is a scene where Hawkeye is fighting Black Widow, and we're
still friends, right?
Still friends.
Depends how hard you hit me.
It's great. It's great.
That's when Scarlet Witch is like you're holding your punches,
right? And then even Iron Man, when now the S's hit the F, he's talking to Scarlet Witch. Well, that didn't go the way we wanted. He's like, well, our
plan was to go easy, but
not now.
Yeah.
But again, these characters are obviously fighting, but they're still friends. They are pulling punches. They're just
not trying to kill each other.
Right. They're just trying to knock each other out or find a way to negotiate through fists.
It takes a lot to knock them out.
Yeah. But again, this scene with Spider-Man and Captain America is just perfect. Like the way he talks, he's like, well, Tony told me you're wrong. And, it says he's a kid. He's influenced and unique. And, he's influenced by Tony Stark. He gave him this great suit. Even he's like, I'm trying to figure out this suit. And he's like, but it's great. It's great, Mr. Stark. Like, he's a kid, cause, and I am a little worried. I mean, he's young. Cause again, we always talk about like the cool thing about Spider-Man is like when he's in the suit, he's a smart ass. But when he's Peter Parker, he's, awkward. He's awkward. And here he feels still like a little awkward kid in the suit, but his powers are like, he knows his powers. So then, we finally get to the scene where he gets on the jet, the Quinjet or whatever it is. And then Black Panther says like, okay, well, if you're willing to fight this hard for it, I guess I'm going to help you. And then we get kind of the scene that
Black Widow, you mean?
Yeah, Black Widow. I'm sorry. And then, we get
black characters or it's not what I meant.
Jeez. We get the scene with Vision going to help Scarlet Witch after she's basically like held up the building which again, I'm like, Vision knocked it down. Scarlet Witch held it, but couldn't hold it. And then he comes to her rescue. Like it does show like I want to stop them, but I don't want you to get hurt in the process. You know what I mean? Like, but then we get the kind of we were talking about some character in here has got to have some serious consequence. Someone's going to be mortally wounded, right? And
the trailer, the trailer made it seem like the Winter Soldier shot him down because the trailer had like him shooting a gun and then Rhodey's going down. So I'm like, oh. That's maybe something that sets it off, but no, it was Vision making a mistake,
right,
and accidentally shooting down Rhodey.
Which is, I like that. I like the fact that he's not infallible, because that was always a concern of mine through Ultron. When he's talking to Ultron, he's like, "No, I'm more powerful than anybody." You know what I mean? And like, I get to make the decision, and it's like, ooh, he's too strong.
Yeah. He has a Superman effect where nothing can.
Right.
Yeah.
So Rhodes obviously is now
paralyzed.
Paraplegic. It looks like he has some issues with his legs, but towards the end of the movie, I guess those were like things that were helping him, or maybe...
Iron Man legs. Yeah, who knows? He's Stark. He'll be fine.
So he gets away, Captain America and Bucky, and I love again the small interactions, the small conversations. He's like, I don't know if this was all worth it. I don't know if I was worth it to you, man. Like really, you like me that much? Like,
and at this point in the movie, I feel like the Civil Warness has wrapped up. Right, we get the big airport scene that everyone has seen in the trailers and stuff. Everyone's done fighting. By the time the fight's over, everyone's like, yeah, maybe we're friends again. It's kind of wrapped up. And then we get on to, like you said, the last half of the whole plot of the movie.
Right. And so then we end up with kind of 4 people moving on to the third act of the movie. We have Black Panther, Iron Man, Captain America, and Winter Soldier.
Even for that, we see Tony Stark go to the prison, which he called it something.
I forget. There was a name that a prison that in Civil War that Hank Pym, I believe, and Mr. Fantastic built in like a different dimension.
Okay.
And they kept people there, and that's
so
why
it's a prison to hold special abilities people. And we see obviously Scarlet Witch, which she does not look happy. We see Sam, who's like, "You're supposed to be helping us out," or we see Scotty Lang. He's like,
Scott Lang.
Who are you? He's like, come on, man.
I love that he's like, yeah, Hank Pym was right. Never trust a Stark. And he's like, who are you? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? And like, then he gets to Sam Wilson Falcon, and he's like, look, oh, you're supposed to be the bad guy.
First he talks to Jeremy Renner, and he's like, has that really good emotional conversation with him. It's like, you were supposed to be the one that, supposed to help us and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, so it's nice to see kind of that almost the B team have the solidarity as the B team.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, Falcon tells Iron Man where he's at. He goes there, and he opens the elevator, and he's like, I love that he calls him the Manchurian Candidate. Oh, that's fantastic. Again, Tony Stark, some of the lines he gets to deliver, he gets the best lines in all these movies. It doesn't matter what movie he's in. He's going to have better lines in the Spider-Man movie. By the way, it's called Spider-Man Homecoming. One of the words to activate.
Every single time he said Homecoming, I'm like, it's like they're drilling that into our brains.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, they are. I'm going to get activated.
Man.
And so then he believes the story because he kind of basically gets the intel from the new Jarvis on his plane or whatever after he leaves, and gets the details that, hey, look, he was right.
I was wrong. He was right. I'm gonna go help him.
Right. And so then this is the part. Okay, so they're gonna all work together and fight Zemo.
Well, not even that. They're going there to fight these super soldiers. That was the whole kind of thing in the movie.
Yeah.
When we finally get there, Zemo's
hold
like...
on, real quick. I'll point out something real quick. That part, I thought, the big fight scene with the 3 of them, the Winter Soldier, Iron Man, and Cap. Did I say... those 3 in the trailer where they're just going ham on each other, right? Mm-hmm. They're just beating the hell out of each other. I was like, oh, they shot that just for the trailer because now they're together. I literally thought, I was like, that was a cool way to like...
Yeah, that twist is, now obviously we'll get there, but yeah, that was quite the twist.
So for me, I was like, oh, that's cool that they cut that just for the trailer, because it is brutal. Like, that, and it was awesome. Like, and then, so they did a good job.
They did a really good job.
You know what I mean?
I did not see that coming whatsoever.
Right. So then, okay, now we get to meet Zemo again.
Yeah, so, they sell these super soldiers that they're even more powerful than Winter Soldier, and they're like 5 Captain Americas, so it's like, oh man, this is gonna be a really good fight.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So Zemo's there, he's like, no, I killed them all. Why would I want any more people like you on this earth?
That's a good point.
So you literally brought us to this nuclear bunker-like thing for us to fight. And it's kind of revealed that was Zemo's plan all along, is just to break up the Avengers internally. Which is almost kind of like Ultron, but, whatever. This works out better, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it actually works. But it's revealed that the whole 1991 incident that we keep hearing about, where Winter Soldier caused this car accident to steal his super serum, and he killed 2 people who were in the car, were...
Tony Stark's parents.
Yep. And Tony Stark sees, there was a video camera there, sees Winter Soldier, punches down the face twice, kills him, and then chokes his mom.
And that's the thing, that scene, man. When that car hits that tree, like, they don't hold back. That car hits that tree. Like, like in, when cars hit things in movies, it's kind of like, oh, like, yeah, this looks like a severe bad accident.
It's an old car too, so it doesn't have 17 airbags or anything like that,
no.
So it's brutal.
And when he hits Howard Stark in the face,
with the metal arm.
They show it, man. Like, they don't pull, they don't pull punches on this. And like, we see the brutality of him killing him, like,
and choking his mom. And obviously they don't show her dying, but you could see the look on Tony Stark's face is slowly like, and here we're back at Civil War again.
Yeah. And so, so Tony Stark's just beaming red. And I don't even think
Tony asked Steve, did you know about this? How did he know?
He probably had conversations with Winter Soldier. Because remember, he kept telling him, he's like, what do you remember? Remember, he kept saying, well, you got to tell me more than that, because I need to know.
There was an Siberia. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a bigger conversation now. Whether Falcon knows, he might get his ass whooped when he comes back by Iron Man. But such a good scene. Motivation makes sense. He's seeing red, and he lunges towards him, right? And then he's like, kind of snaps out of it, like, hey, man. And he's like, wait, did you know? And he's like,
Yeah.
kind of knew.
But I didn't know who.
Right. And it's just, he's like,
And just goes.
he goes,
down.
and I love the line when he's standing, they have this big fight scene, he goes, but he wasn't, he was, I don't care.
Yep.
It's
He killed
just,
my mom.
It's just vengeance. It's just pure, unadulterated,
Comes out the
unmitigated
weekend of Mother's Day,
hate.
by the way.
Huh?
Kind of day before Mother's Day.
Jeez. Yeah.
dear.
Jeez. This fight scene in the kind of the, I guess it's a silo. It looks like because a big hatch comes out the top. Fantastic. Very cool. I love that Tony is getting all of his equipment destroyed and he will not stop. And I even think Captain America says he's not going to stop.
Yeah. Get out of here.
He's not going to stop. Like I know Tony, he ain't going to stop.
Yeah.
But without his armor, he's useless. Right?
Yeah, but he has armor.
Which again, there's parts of the later in these scenes where he kind of, it's that, oh, I'm almost dead. Wait, oh, I'm really strong. It's just like, I don't know. There's parts of it, but then he destroys. I love the part. He's like, I'm just gonna eyeball it, and he closes one eye and shoots the missile to destroy the top hatch. Again, it's interesting to see, and even I think he drops the mask too during that time.
He's literally just like pointing his thing at it.
Yeah.
I always think of that scene with him and Jon Favreau where they're boxing, and he's like, "Why am I boxing?" It's just like, I have a giant suit of armor. Why do I need to learn how to fight? We get again the motivation of Zemo. Again, I know it's the basis of like, I lost everything. My father was holding my wife and my kids, and he has the voice message of his, I'm guessing that's his wife telling him, "Oh, we're going over to your dad's house. Love you. We'll see you later." And he's almost ready to delete it or whatever. And he was gonna I think he deletes it before he almost.
He was trying to kill himself.
It wraps up with the whole collateral damage thing.
Yep, it's the same exact thing.
I know, but it's like, I just don't believe it. It's not. I get what they're doing. It's never portrayed to me in a way that, I don't know. I guess I see too much of the forest and not the trees. I would be the Captain America.
Just gotta watch it again.
Maybe. But we get, of course, the scene with Black Panther and Zemo, and this is cool because we get to see kind of the transition of, because he hears Zemo like, "Oh yeah, you killed all those innocent people in Vienna, all for just to get us here," and he's about to come out and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm being too brash. I need to be a better leader and look at the forest."
It's the same exact arc as Zemo was doing, but he's obviously taking the higher road and be like, "I don't need to have vengeance control me.
I'm gonna let it go." Yeah, yep. And I love the fact he's about to kill himself and he stops. And he's like, "No, the living aren't done with you." Like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. But then we get the scene out of the trailer, which is so brutal. And the part when Winter Soldier rips out the part tries to rip out the core reactor, which again, I thought, I know Tony Stark has one in his chest.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, that's right. He got rid of it.
Removed at the end of Iron Man 3.
That's right.
It's just part of the suit now.
Yeah. So, which now I'm like, the only thing that he just owns the suit. So I guess that's the only thing that makes him a superhero. Anyways, and his genius.
Yep.
He shoots the blaster out of his chest, which we don't really see in the movies. Like, that's usually like a big, like,
the big powerful thing.
Takes off his arm.
Yep.
Great. Loved it.
Good thing you didn't use your other arm.
Yeah. And then the scene with Captain just going Christmas story on him. Yeah. And then he's telling, all the systems are going down. And he goes, "Check the fighting style." And I'm like,
that is kind of cool. Kind of analyzes it, waits for a certain moment, and then grabs a shield and kind of goes back to town on Cap, man.
Yeah, and then that scene was so great. And he's like, "Just stand down, come on, man, just give up."
And we get the iconic scene from the first Captain America movie.
Yes,
I can do this all day.
Yep,
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, such a cool callback. I can do this all day in the alley, right? That was, and then the iconic scene for me, probably of this entire movie, is Iron Man on the ground with the shield shoved into his chest, sticking straight out. Because I thought for a second,
I thought he was going to
kill him.
Yeah,
I did too. I thought he was going to mortally wound him.
Well,
and
Tony Stark thought the same thing.
Yeah,
he
put
thing
his
on his face
up.
because he's bashed out his helmet and he's coming down with the shield, and then he's like, and then hits his arc reactor, and he's like, "Oh, I really thought you were going to kill me."
I thought he was going to say something like, "Oh, I thought you were going to kill me, man." Like, that would have been really, but I think the scene would have diffused, and it was great. And you see the hatred still in Tony when he's walking away and he says, "That shield wasn't for you. My dad made that, damn it. And you sons of," and he drops it. And you see the scratch mark still on it from
that's pretty cool.
Black Panther. Like, again, just so amazing. In such a small corridor fighting scene, these remind me of those Bourne Supremacy fights where it's just like you're just
It's
right
physical,
there.
man.
It's just right there. Like,
And they get to the point where they're not even using powers. They're just punching the snot out of each other.
No,
It's cool.
super cool. But that scene where he's got the shield shoved into his chest was just, I was like, holy smokes. Like, you couldn't have, shot for shot, that was one of the best shots of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Captain taking Bucky away.
Yep.
They kind of don't explain where everybody where the chips fell. They explain some of them. But Cap writes a letter, frees all 4 of the people out of the prison, which is awesome. But, again, this movie it doesn't feel like it's a Captain America movie. It really is, because it does really follow his arc, but it's an Avengers movie. Like, don't get it twisted.
And we end the movie with 2 teams of Avengers. He's like, if you ever need us, call us. Gives him a phone.
Yeah, the
Hopefully
burner.
it's prepaid minutes. Better have unlimited data. But yeah, leaves the phone's like, hey, call us if you ever need us. And there's literally 2 sets of Avengers by the end of this movie. So,
which is cool, because they could do that. I mean, they had West Coast Avengers and all that stuff that they could do. But again, the bell will be rung when Thanos comes and there's this bigger problem, and
we need you.
Now we need you. And I hope the thing that these movies do is they do a good job of the callbacks of the relationships that have been built between the characters make sense as they go forward. The part when Clint or Hawkeye and Black Widow are fighting at the airport. Hey, we're still friends, right? Well, it depends on how hard you punch me. Because remember, she fought him when he had the
Loki stuff.
Yeah, so it's like, and she hit his head or whatever. It's just like all of these characters have history, and it feels like we've been watching them. It's almost like a sitcom. Like they all have history with each other. And it's interesting to see kind of those new, because at this point they've got so many freaking characters. What do they have? I think it was 5 on 5, right? So you have at least 10 major characters. Then you get, Zemo in the interrogation towards the end and basically says, oh, it failed in spectacular.
How do you feel? You failed. Did I? Which was freaking cool.
Yeah, you get I've planted the seeds. And that's what I hope, Infinity War or the Gauntlet, I forget I think they're calling it.
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Well, it's Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, but they just came out last week that they're not going to be, that's not what it's going to be called, but.
So, yeah, I think not Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll be like their standalone own stories, right? Mm-hmm. So, again, loved it. Probably not my favorite. It's probably not even on my top 5, unfortunately. Maybe I need to re-see it.
Yeah,
This movie's really long. I'm going to get to some criticisms. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Well,
next.
really quick, we have 2 end credit scenes.
Oh, that's right.
We have the first one where it shows pretty much Winter Soldier. He's like, I think this is for the best. I could be activated with 5 words, so I might as well. Maybe I should go to sleep while you guys figure this whole brain thing out. So he's cryogenically frozen again. Got a little nub for an arm instead. And then we get another end credit scene, which is just more of a funny thing with Spider-Man and Aunt May. And
what does he have there? Is it he used to have a thing on his belt, but it shows like a bunch of different symbols on that.
It looks like a computer. Like a Spider-Man computer system. I don't know. I'll look at a screen cap, a leak or something like that to see. But
he had this light on his belt in the comics that he could shine and it would make like a Spider-Man logo or something.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
But it's on his shooter. And I love the part. He's like, yeah, I fought this guy named Steve. Yeah, he had a huge friend, right?
Yeah, I got a few hits in. Yeah.
So again, I thoroughly enjoy the movie. They do such a good job with Marvel movies. I mean, it's such a good movie. It's just super.
I'm still wondering when they're gonna make a bad movie. Like, I really thought Ant-Man with all the backstage stuff was gonna be bad. No,
with the Edgar Wright stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about maybe some stuff you didn't enjoy. Now you haven't jumped in here enough. So tell me what you didn't like. What about like length? Did you not like a particular character? Is there anything that you disliked about the movie? Because again,
was it perfect?
No, well, I think that's extreme, but
just generally,
there was nothing that stood out to me.
Nothing felt out of place, or how do you feel about the length? What we said
2 hours and 40 minutes.
I started to kind of get a little bit.
Was it 2 hours and 40 minutes, or was it
2 hours and 40 minutes?
Oh, okay. I thought he said 240 minutes.
No, it's 2 hours 40, but that's with previews.
I thought it was almost 4 hours long with previews.
Oh, maybe he said 240 minutes. It was long.
It was super long.
It was long.
And again, that third act felt like the third act. Like you could have. I mean, obviously you have to have it, but
no, it must be 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It has to be. It has to be 2 hours and 40 minutes. It was almost 3 hours. But there was never a scene in it where I was like, wrap it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't feel like I guess by the end of the movie, like my back was all sweaty, all excited. Chris Evans' arms got me all heavy. But I guess at the end I was like, wow, that was kind of long. But I never felt during the movie, oh man, this is really long. Because like you said, it's ball to wall action the whole freaking movie.
Not really. I mean, there are pacing parts of part of it.
A little bit, but
and that's what the first up to the the airport scene, it's fast. Everything's moving way, like at 11. And then it slows down. That's why that third act almost feels like a different movie, because it is a lot more methodical and slower, because you get the CT or closed captioning TV footage or whatever it's called, the CCTV footage of Winter Soldier killing his parents, and you get...
Like you're saying, like the whole movie, the beginning of the movie, it's like, okay, this thing in 1991, right? And then the whole meat of the movie is the Civil War bit, them fighting. And then the end of the movie, it's like, well, remember that whole thing at the beginning? Yeah, we got to wrap that up too. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, again, so when we left, we went and saw with a couple other friends. One person says, well, why did they, you introduce Spider-Man, but you either make him a major character throughout the entire movie or don't put him in at all. And I can see kind of that argument, but
it definitely wasn't necessary to the plot of the movie.
No, not at all.
But it's freaking Spider-Man. It's freaking Marvel Spider-Man. It's not stupid Sony Spider-Man that we've seen twice. It's Marvel. Now we know what to expect from Homecoming. We know what to expect from the character, and it's the dynamic between him and Tony is obviously going to be important in that movie too. Yeah. And we see the start of that dynamic in this movie. So I think it was necessary for the franchise, maybe not necessarily for this one movie.
But they were forming teams, so if they didn't go get Spider-Man, who were they going to go get?
Well,
they don't need that. They don't necessarily need another character.
They needed equal 5-on-5. But I'm looking forward to, I don't know how much they're going to expand Spider-Man. I don't know what the deals are. I know they're going to oversee the Sony pictures. I don't know if he's going to be in Infinity War. Please.
He will be. I almost guarantee he will be.
He is Tom Holland, I think that's his name again, is so good. Just the way that the motion of Spider-Man, the movement, the fighting,
the snarkiness,
the fish out of water. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I can't go to Germany. I don't have a passport. Like, he's just a kid. I
have homework to do.
Yeah, and he's like, are you kidding me with that right now? Like, I have to save the world. Damn it! Like, it's just they set it up so perfectly, and I don't think. Please don't do an origin story. I know he got picked by Spider.
They're not going.
And they even kind of address that in that bedroom scene. Tony asks him, well, what else can you do? Or what? And he's like, he's like, I have all these crazy how do you crawl on walls? How do you do all this stuff? He's like, oh, it's a long story. He says that like it's a long story. We all know it.
And we do see Spidey sense in the movie too. Like he senses like a car or something getting thrown at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But what were some of your other criticisms of the movie?
For me, again, I think it's just generally length. None of it feels out of place necessarily, but my biggest criticism, which I've talked about through this whole spoiler cast, is just that motivation of like, the Avengers we need to have them in check. I'm just like
you need to watch the movie again.
I just maybe for me,
it makes a ton of sense.
Maybe for me, it's they don't show enough of like maybe they need to show more like
more people dying.
No, like Fox News footage of like or whatever, or like the cable news channels of is blah 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 really a good guy? Because look, all these people died. We have this memorial, and all these people came out for a candlelight vigil because all these people died. I guess they just don't show the stakes of. It's just one of those things where we talked about it with like the problem with Superman versus Batman is like they're terraforming the planet. Everyone dies if not for Superman. So maybe they keep talking about having perspective. When I had this triple bypass, it gave me perspective. It's like have some perspective that everyone dies. Like maybe like what was the other option? Like what was your solution to the problem? That's always the criticism I have. If there was a solution like, hey, we can do this and potentially, we'll meet his demands. Like, we'll meet the terrorist demands and maybe not as much collateral damage. And then Captain America comes in and says, no, we're going to fight him and we're going to beat him. And then more people die. And they're like, see, you're making the more rash and lower brain decision versus, negotiation. And they kind of get into this with the diplomacy on the Wakanda scene in Vienna, but it never feels like that. It's just like, you saved the world, but my child died as a result of it. It's like, yeah, did you hear that first part of that sentence where you said, we saved the world? Like,
yeah, but it's like the king is saying, it's like, if it's at the cost of innocent lives, then it's not worth it.
Everyone dies. Everyone dies. Like, do you get that? He was making a meteor to crash into the earth to kill everyone.
Yeah, but instead of like blowing up a building and the building falling on top of somebody and killing somebody, if there was a way like, hey, maybe there's a different way to go about this, a more stealthy way, or just to kill people that need to be killed.
That's what I'm saying, but they never explore that second alternate a path in any of the movies. It's just like, this is the bad guy. Here's what we're going to do to save the day. We shoot from the hip. And that's
exactly what they're saying, though. That's the problem.
Right. And but they don't convey that in a way. They just say oversight. Maybe they say some of your guys' decisions that you've made were never the best tactical decisions. And I feel like you guys don't have the necessary, military strategy, or you guys are all, you're greater what am I trying to say here? The sum of the parts is greater than individually, but it only works when you guys all want to work together, or something that makes sense, instead of just, my child died as a result of you saving the world. And it's like, I understand. What?
Of something you created.
No, but I think that's what she's saying. Like, the Secretary of State even says it. He's like, hey, we owe everything to you guys, because I wouldn't be in this room if it wasn't for you. The aliens would have come down out of that hole out of the sky and murdered us all. And Loki would have had his day. But you guys saved the day. But you know what? You knocked over a building where I bank at, so I'm pretty upset with you guys. Like, it's just, it feels more like you guys, it's not... I don't know.
I disagree with you so much right now. It's like our own civil war.
Yeah, exactly. You guys don't even know.
I think just having them with the footage of like people actually dying, the different views of things that the atrocities we've seen in the other movies was enough to sell it for me. It's like, holy crap, like people are freaking dying. Like, that's collateral damage. And I put that into modern perspectives in our world, obviously the reality.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would be a big deal.
So where do you fall on this? Because obviously I'm team captain. He's team Iron Man.
I'm team Iron Man.
I'm definitely team captain. I'm like, just go save the world. Like, be the good guys.
Kill innocents. It's so cool.
That's not their intent.
Still.
I'm definitely on the fence.
Oh, great.
No,
good job,
Here we go. You have
PC, but
you're the Black Widow.
I get it. Like,
you just go back and forth.
At the end of the day, though, you're right. Like, so many more people would have died.
No, what do you mean? My side?
Yeah.
Like, everyone dies but for them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think I get the theme. I understand the theme. I think it's just not executed in a way that is believable to me.
I do like Vision's thought on it, because he's kind of in the middle too. Because he's like the more powerful we become, the more abilities, the more people that come out of the woodwork, the more conflict we're going to see.
Power encourages competition.
Exactly.
You know? And actually what...
And he mentions that. He's like, since, you said you were Iron Man, we've had more people with enhanced abilities come forward. And he's like, are you saying this is our fault? He's like, kind of?
He's like, people keep buying these movie tickets, so we got to keep making atrocities. No, they talk about this a little bit in The Dark Knight with Joker. And Alfred is talking to Batman. He's like, well, since when you squeeze the bad guys, when you get rid of all the bad guys, you think it's just everyone's gonna, you create more harder criminals.
Yeah.
And you actually see that with kind of that first bad guy, Crossbones. I think that's his name. He's like, yeah, you dropped a building on me. You took everything from me. And I think the Avengers are kind of this forest, whereas you see the bad guys and the people who are suffering as the trees. And that's an interesting, it's not like it's a bad concept. I appreciate the concept. It's just not executed in a way that makes me believe it.
Well, think of it from Ultron's perspective, right? They created Ultron, and that created that whole problem and all that stuff. Now, if they were under the oversight, they'd be like, hey, why don't we just create this Ultron guy? And it'll work out. And then they'll be like, no. And then they would save all those people. Right. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I think for me, this is, again, a great movie, but it's just didn't meet my expectations. It's probably for me, if I was going to grade it, I'd give it like a B+. Maybe a B.
We'll watch it again. You'll come.
What would you give it, grade wise? Is it better than the first Avengers? Do you remember the first Avengers?
No.
Is it better than Ultron? You saw Ultron with us. Is it better than that? It's an audio podcast.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
I was like shaking my head. I think I give it an A-.
Yeah. The length is really, I think, where it's hard to rewatch the movie. Now, again, with these kind of movies, it's always good when you get it on like Blu-ray, because you can watch it in like a couple sittings, and then it's actually
you
really
can pause it and like analyze it. Oh, what was that scene? Rewind a little bit.
Yeah. So again, everything in this movie, the details, the webbing looks perfect when Spider-Man shoots the webbing. It even looks cool.
I like that the cartridge is not out of his hand. Freaking Tobey Maguire.
All right. Well, I think we've gone long enough. Go see it.
Almost as long as that movie, eh?
Oh my gosh. I feel like we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Again, you can always check out our podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on SoundCloud, it's on Stitcher Radio, or we do video podcasts every week. It's on YouTube. You can now go to youtube.com/sitdownstandard.
Oh, you got that?
It's official, bro.
Yeah, did it.
We're official. But you can also, we usually do live broadcasts of the podcast. We didn't do one for this because we don't want people to drop in on Periscope and hear
spoilers.
Yeah, that would be terrible. So you can always follow us on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram. It's @SitDownStandard. We are going to be announcing something pretty big next week. Well, they all know.
Big news.
Big. So
Huge.
Everyone.
it's going to be very big. So we're excited for next week. Stick around not stick around, but we're going to have more videos up this week. In addition, me and Alyssa are going to start doing some more Kickstarter previews. God willing. God willing.
More. They keep coming.
They keep coming. It's like the hits just keep coming. All right. Well, till next time. Whoa. We got to say the email address. Okay. If you want to send us an email, tell us what you thought about.
Are you Team Iron Man? Are you Team Captain America?
Let's break this. Are
you in the middle?
Are you Team David? Are you Team Gerald?
We talked about this. If there's a vote, I'm just going to make a bunch of accounts and write Team David in the comments. But yeah, let us know what you thought about the movie. Send us an email. We'll give you a shout out on the show. It's sitdownstandard@gmail.com. The email address is
sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Alyssa?
Sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Good. This is the first time 3 people have gotten it correct in a row. All right. Till next time. Bye.
See ya.
Later.